Were you shocked by the increase in your Douglas County property taxes? Well, I was, but I found out later it was an error. So this video is going to be about the errors. It's also going to be about how you file an appeal if you feel like they're overvaluing your property, and then also how you can save on your taxes year after year. So let's get right into it. And at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you how my taxes went up in the 7 years we've been in Douglas County. First, Douglas County sent out over 50% of tax assessments in error, including mine.
An alert tonight, folks, for homeowners in Douglas County. So the county says that it sent out incorrect assessments for nearly 15,000 homeowners across the county. The county is now using new software, and it glitched and did not include the Homestead Exemptions. So if you are affected, you're going to be getting a notice in the mail.
So there's a strong possibility that your assessment is incorrect. Mine was. And it was about $1,000 difference. So you want to make sure, and I'm putting all links below in this video, that you go online and check to see if you have a corrected assessment. On the new assessment, it will have in the background corrected. So this will be the updated assessment. My property tax assessment went from $5,996 to $4,961. So the difference is significant. The problem was that they did not accurately include your homestead exemption. So if you're getting your homestead exemption and you did not have that amount in there, it's going to save you a considerable amount of money if it was done in error. So I want you to use the link below. Check to see if it was wrong, because they said they were going to mail out corrections, but I haven't gotten one in the mail, but I did see my corrected assessment online. So I want you to go to that place first. And it was a significant difference because in my original assessment, they calculated $6,000 for my homestead exemption. And on the corrected assessment, it was $88,000 for my homestead exemption. So we're not talking about a small error. It was a large error. So that's the first thing that I want you to do. Now let's talk about the value of your home. If you feel like Douglas County has overvalued your property, therefore your taxes are much higher than they should be, the first thing I want you to do is file an appeal. But before you even file the appeal, you want to see what documents were used to determine the value of your home. On your property tax assessment, it will say you can request all documents used to determine the value. I want you to do that first. You need to know what comps, what homes were they using to determine the value of your home, because they didn't go one by one to every home in Douglas County and appraise it. They generally do group appraisals. They kind of go by the neighborhood. They do, spot appraisals, that sort of thing. And then they match your square footage and that sort of thing and give you a value. So you want to know what they use to determine your value, and you want to go ahead and request that as soon as possible. On your tax assessment, it tells you who to contact to go ahead and request those documents. After you do that, I want you to reach out to your real estate agent. Even if you've lived in your home for a long time, go ahead and reach out to your real estate agent, because you want them to be able to give you some comparable homes that have sold recently in your neighborhood. You want homes that are very much like yours and that have sold as recently as possible. And your realtor can help you pull those things up. I help some of my former clients pull those up for them. And it's going to be much more accurate than if you pull up Zillow or something like that to try to determine your value on your own. Now, that's a free option. If you feel like you want a more accurate assessment, or if you have a very unique property, it may be in your best interest to contact an appraiser. And I'll put one link below to an appraisal company that I've used in the past. You can pay, depending on the size of your home, it could be anywhere from $300 to $500 or more, that they will come and do an appraisal for your property. And then they can help you dispute the property tax appraisal. And that's going to be probably your most accurate appraisal or your most accurate amount. But of course, that's going to cost you money. But if you feel like they're overvaluing your property by a lot, then it may be worth it for you to get your own independent appraisal. So First, we're checking for errors. Second, we're filing an appeal if necessary. And then last, we want to make sure that you're getting all the homestead exemptions you're entitled to. If your home is your primary residence in Douglas County, you should be getting a homestead exemption. That was that $88,000 credit that I was talking about. So basically, it kind of takes your value down significantly so you pay less taxes. So you want to make sure you are getting that homestead exemption. You should have put your homestead exemption application in by April of this year. If you didn't, go ahead and do it now. So by the next tax year, you'll be able to use your homestead exemption. But file. You only have to file one time. You don't have to file every year. But again, if this is your primary residence, file your homestead exemption. It's going to be a significant saving. So use my example. It's about $1,000 difference. And then if you are 62 or older, Douglas County has a senior exemption. You will be exempt from the school tax, and that's the majority of the taxes we pay in Douglas County. So it could be significant, but you have to apply. Nobody's going to come to you and say, hey, you're 62, we're going to reduce your taxes. You want to make sure that you're going and applying. All of this you can do online. If you're not that comfortable online, you can go ahead and go to the tax office and file your paperwork there. They can help you file your paperwork there. I'm going to, again, list all of this in the description of this video so you know exactly where it is, exactly where you need to go. There are also exemptions for disabled veterans, surviving spouses of family members killed in action, the military, firefighters. So there are a lot of exemptions. If you qualify, I want to make sure you apply to all of them. Also, I'm going back to the 62 and older exemption. If you have someone on your deed that owns your property, so say you're a married couple and your spouse is 62 and you're not 62 yet, I would also go ahead and apply and see if you can get the exemption as soon as the oldest person turns 62. You can save that way as well. All right, lastly, I said I would share because when I went live about a couple of weeks ago, you can check out my live tab from when I go live on the channel. Somebody asked me in the chat, they were like, did your property taxes double from the last assessment? And I knew it didn't double, but I didn't have that, all the details. So I wanted to share some details. It definitely didn't double from last year. It did go up about $1,000 from last year to this year, but they also are more accurately assessing my property than they had in the past. So since we moved here, our property value has doubled in value. So when we moved here, or the first time we were assessed taxes was 2017 because we bought from somebody getting the senior exemption. So their taxes were just about $900 or so. So when we first got our real assessment in 2017, our taxes were $2,068 in 2017. Right now in 2023, they're $4,961. So that's an increase in the last 7 years of $2,193. So it didn't completely double, but close. And it's kind of in line with my property value as well. So I'm not filing an appeal this year. But again, if you feel like they're overvaluing your property, you definitely want to file that appeal. You want to make sure you're reaching those deadlines. For people that had an error on their assessment, they're giving you an additional 45 days from the time that they sent out the error notice. So you have, some time to get this done, but do not miss those deadlines. Get it done so you can get you can pay the right amount of taxes. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please put any questions in the comments of this video. And again, look at the description for any links. Lastly, one more thing. I created a document that has all of your elected officials. The only other way that you're going to reduce your property taxes is by your elected officials on the city level and on the county level to reduce our millage rates. So you want to make sure you know who's representing you and their elections coming up. So go ahead and download that. That will be in the description as well. Thank you so much.